Hello, my friends. I hope this message finds you well and you're enjoying your summer. The purpose of this video is that I am announcing my last and final mastermind. Reason for that is actually I wasn't planning on doing any more masterminds. I really want to dig in and focus a lot more on my Amazon business. You know, Amazon's been going through so many changes that it's been really important and really time consuming to really dig in and test a lot of different things and kind of stay ahead of that curve that Amazon's created. So again, I wasn't going to do it, but I've had several people reach out to me and aggressively ask me to at least do one more. And the other reason I'm doing it as well is if you guys have been following me on Facebook, hopefully you've seen my efforts to raise money to help the earthquake victims in Ecuador. We've been very fortunate, very blessed, and I've gotten a lot of support from this community. And we've been able to raise over probably close to about $72,000 and still coming. And the purpose of that was to rebuild a school. There's been about 256 schools that were destroyed. So we have a long way to go. We've pretty much raised enough to build one school. So by doing this mastermind, I feel that I'll be able to build at least one or two more schools. So that's really a great motivator for me to do this one more time is so that the proceeds could go to help the Ecuadorian earthquake victims cause. So you're probably wondering when. So let me tell you some of the details. So I'm holding this mastermind in September. It's going to be September 22nd to the 25th. Where I'm holding it is in Cabo, Mexico. It's an amazing, one of the most beautiful resorts I've ever been to. It's one of the best resorts in Cabo. Unbelievable scenery, great environment, great food, amazing service, beautiful rooms. So it'll really be a treat. So let me tell you a little bit about the mastermind. So my idea and my plan is to have a small intimate group, and I think that's important, you know, because networking is such a critical part of a mastermind. You know, one of the things that I've learned, I've attended many masterminds, I've spoken at a ton of them all over the world, and some of the big takeaways I've had is at most of these masterminds is the content is sometimes or most of the time weak, meaning that it's either not great, or it's not stuff that you can apply to your business. Sometimes it just doesn't fit where you are at certain levels, and or it's over your head, as it has been for me. Just stuff that I couldn't apply. So amazing speakers, amazing talented people, but it was not something that I could use for my business. So my goal has always been in past masterminds and as well with this one is to bring in only superstar Amazon sellers, people that are in the trenches building this business, that have a super successful track record, and those are the people, along with myself, that'll be teaching at these events. So again, I mentioned that, you know, one of the things that I've learned is that the content was usually weak at some of these events, but the networking was always amazing. I mean, literally, speaking for myself, I've made millions of dollars because of the contacts that I've made at these events. So my formula has always been to deliver great, actionable content, but also surround the people with amazing people to network with. And again, and most of that is super successful people. Not only super successful, but very, very kind and giving people that are willing to build a relationship ongoing and to support each other. So that's going to be a big part of it. So as I mentioned, I'm bringing in some really close friends that are superstars in this business. Some of the top sellers in Amazon. Some of the speakers they're doing between $1 and $7 million a month in sales, and that's not in December. That's year round. So these guys really, really know their stuff, and they're just amazing giving people, and they're open in sharing and helping. So some of the things that we're going to be focusing on, and if you pardon, I'm looking at notes. I want to make sure I cover everything. So if you see me drift a little bit, that's why. You know, some of the things they're going to be focused on is the importance of product selection. And one of the things I teach is that's one of the things you really want to master in this business. So many things can be outsourced, but product selection cannot be. And that's where most people fail in this business, is they just pick the wrong product. So there's an art and a science behind that, and we'll be focusing on that and covering that in detail at this event. Not only that, going to teach and include different models that are not being taught out there. Models to find amazing products that really, really maximize your profitability. And in some cases where you can find products and launch many products with zero out of pocket, no investment. And that's critical, because that's a challenge. I don't care what level you're at in this business, cash flow is always a challenge. So imagine being able to do it without any money. So that's going to be taught as well. Also going to be focusing on launch strategies that help you get top ranking, page one ranking, pretty much guaranteed if you follow it. Not only that, let's see, what do I got here? And again, some basic stuff, because I think the basics are important. A lot of people miss that. So how to create an amazing listing to increase your conversions, things of that nature. Also going to be sharing some secret strategies on how to get your listings to the top of page one. You see a lot of that going on. I know you've all experienced this, where you looked at a listing and said, how the heck did they get up there? They got one review and they're at the top. So we're going to be sharing some of that stuff. Also going to be sharing some really big untapped opportunities on Amazon that are literally worth millions of dollars. Also going to be working on and teaching, how to get ahead of your competition. This business, people ask me all the time, is this opportunity still as great as it was years ago, like when I started? And the answer to that is, I think the opportunity is greater. It's just different. It's just different. So if you continue following that old path, it's going to be a challenge. But the opportunity is great. Amazon is constantly expanding and growing, and there's massive, massive opportunity. And the opportunity is greater, and it's becoming greater and greater every day. But there's certain ways to do it and to really maximize that, and that's what we're going to be working on. So we're going to be talking about a lot of cutting-edge techniques. Now, again, it's important that I emphasize that these techniques and strategies that we're going to be teaching, they can be implemented immediately to get immediate results in your business and improve your business. And these will be both for beginners and advanced sellers. So don't feel that that you're too far along or you're too early in the game. We will be covering things that will benefit everybody. And we really want to focus on things that will help you stay, as I mentioned, stay ahead of your competition. And that's really important. So what this mastermind includes. So again, I'm going to my notes. Don't want to miss anything. It's going to be 4 days and 4 nights in a beautiful, beautiful resort in Cabo, Mexico. 3 days of intense training. And again, with these top sellers and myself, teaching all these techniques, strategies, SOPs, things that will make a huge difference in your business. That I guarantee. I'm also going to be doing, there's going to be one-on-one consultations. I remember listening to Tony Robbins once, and I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. And he talked about that 1 millimeter shift and how that little shift sometimes can make a huge difference in your life, or in this case, in your business. So I think it's important to get an outside perspective, someone looking into your business, because again, there may be just some minor tweaks that'll make a huge change in your business. So that'll be one of the things offered at this event. I'm going to be doing a 3-month ongoing training after the event. So it doesn't end after Cabo. I want to make sure that we're following up, making sure, holding you accountable for the things that you learned, because again, the one thing that I will guarantee you is you will learn things, and I guarantee you will learn amazing things that will affect and change and improve your business. But it only will if you take action and you take the things and you implement them. So I think it's important to follow up and to hold each other accountable and to continue that learning process, because there will be questions after, once you start implementing. And so I want to make sure that you get the most out of what you learned. The other thing is that, and this is a thing that I think is critical, and you really won't understand it until you attend, but the power of networking. Like I mentioned, I have the relationships that I've built from these events that I've attended or spoke at have literally made me millions of dollars. And networking and masterminding is critical. It's critical. Especially now, Amazon is the one thing you can guarantee about Amazon is it will change. It'll absolutely change. And what I've noticed about Amazon is those changes are happening harder and faster. They're changing more often. So things that worked years ago are not necessarily working as good today, or not working at all. So it's important to stay ahead of those changes, and being part of something and being part of that group and having those relationships are critical. So one of the things that I do, not only am I going to be bringing in these amazing people to teach at the event, I'm also going to be bringing in some special guests that are very close personal friends of mine that are also very, very successful people, but they're also very kind, loving, giving people that are willing to build relationships and continue those ongoing, that'll be there for the networking. So there's going to be some amazing things going on during the teaching, but the magic really happens outside of that, during the networking, when you're hanging out with people. So I'm going to be bringing in some amazing people, and that is going to be worth the price of admission in that South. So with that being said, I'd love for you to come join me at this event. The cost of the event, which includes everything except airfare. So I'm going to be covering your hotel. Again, it's an all-inclusive resort, so it's going to be your stay. It's going to be your transportation. It's going to be all your food and drinks, including alcohol. So all you got to do is get there. So the cost of the event is $12,000. And again, believe me, my goal is always to deliver 10 times more than what you paid for the event, and I will deliver as usual at this event, and even more so. I'm really excited about this one because we got some amazing people coming. We have a great format. I've been part of and have had many super successful masterminds, and I've learned a lot from those masterminds. So and everyone becomes is better than the last, and that's always my goal. And it happens because I've learned so much from the past events. So again, please, I would love for you to join me. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, answer any of your questions. So click on the link here to register and reserve your spot. Because again, I've already opened this up to some small groups that I'm part of, and we've already got a lot of people who have committed and signed up. So the spots will go fast, and I promise that's not a sales technique. I'm not trying to create scarcity here. I'm being upfront. So if you are interested, I do recommend that you act fast. So with that being said, I'd love for you to join me, and I look forward to seeing you in Cabo. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.